I really believe that the world's best companies have great cultures. And cultures have to be authentic. And when I think about it, there are three elements that get people to want to be a part of a culture. Number one, the work they do has to have a clear purpose. Someone has to have a clear purpose, why they go to work every day, why they work for that company, that they can tell their loved ones, and everyone says, yes, good for you. You need core values. Not a lot, but you need core values that people can embrace and become the norm of how you work together. And then the third thing is people want to be part of a community or have connection at work. It's human connection. Now, if you can create a place where I have a purpose for my job, I know what the values are, and I connect with people throughout the day, I'm going to want to participate in that, right? So if you look back at kind of things like when I joined Apple, Apple had a very clear purpose. You know, Steve used to say, if you can't communicate an idea in 4 words or less, you haven't thought hard enough. You haven't thought hard enough about it. Remember the music player, the iPod? 1,000 songs in my pocket, 1,000 songs in the pocket. Think different. We're going to reinvent the phone. You know, so at Apple Retail, we're going to enrich lives. We're going to change people's lives. When they got an Apple product, it wasn't to buy a product, it was to make their life better. Well, that was our purpose, right? We had core values. They were so important to us. We wrote them down on a little card. And the employees, when I was there, always had a lanyard, you know, with the name Ron. But there's a little slot, and behind that slot is where we put that Credo card, which were the values that were core to what we did. And then we created community. You know, one of the key things I did, Walter, is nobody ever ran a store or moved to a new store without flying into California, spending, you know, a half hour to an hour with me. And I was able to get to know every store manager, as we had, when I left, 400 stores around the world. I knew them all by name. Because what you realize is in a moment, if someone flies to California, they come to Cupertino, they might run into Steve. They're going to meet Ron. They're going to remember that day. For the rest of their days, we commit to memory. Well, that connection is so powerful. Well, if I could know 400 store leaders by name, I could ask an employee as a store manager, well, I would expect you to interview everyone before they start. I want you to establish a relationship, that connection. Before someone starts, they know you're on the team. And from that deep connection, all good things happen. And so great companies have communities built up with all kinds of connection. At my new company, Enjoy, I do 7 store visits a day. They're all done through Zoom. But I meet with the leaders who are meeting with our experts who are doing all these retail experiences at home every day. So the person who's delivering an experience in the home, will deliver 3 million experiences this year, retail experience in the home. Each one of them that day talks to a leader all day long who talks to me every day. So think about that, 1 degree of separation every day from the employee serving a customer to the founder, CEO of a company. That's what culture is all about, right? It's community, it's purpose, and then it's values.